The primary purpose of an extra is to keep a scene lively and realistic, but it can be a rather thankless task. Sure, you get to grace the small screen with your presence and make your mark on TV, but outside of family and friends, very few people actually notice the people in the background, and that's by design. However, the modern viewership landscape is not what it used to be, with every tiny detail of a TV show being searched and analysed by fandoms and keen viewers. Yes, although the figures in the background are typically your everyday people, there are a few occasions where stars of a huge magnitude pop up. So with that in mind then, I'm Ellie with Whatculture, and here are 8 huge actors you didn't notice as extras in TV shows. Number 8. Christopher Lloyd in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Christopher Lloyd, the legendary Doc Brown, co-star to Danny DeVito in Taxi, icon of the screen, and extra in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia? Really? When on earth was he in that? But you'd think he'd be easy to spot, right? Well, as it turns out, his cameos seem to fly over people's heads like Santa's sleigh itself. The Always Sunny Christmas special was a hilarious look into holiday life as led by this gang of sociopaths. One of the most shocking and hilarious moments came when Charlie recalled his young Christmas days, when multiple men dressed as Santa would come along, give him a present and cheer his mum up for a while. Yikes. But among the cascade of red-clad jolly men was an actor of high repute. During the montage of Santa's arriving, one of them is, of course, played by Christopher Lloyd. It's easy to miss as his beard covers most of his face, but you'll never be able to unsee it once you spot it. It's a hilarious cameo for sure, but still, you don't want to imagine the kind of things he did to Charlie's mum. Great Scott. Number 7. Lady Gaga in The Sopranos. The Sopranos is a series that needs no introduction. It's one of the biggest shows to ever grace the small screen. But more than simply boasting the greatest of all time status, it also features the acting debut of one of the biggest pop stars of the last decade, Lady Gaga. The episode The Telltale Moozadel featured a scene that saw AJ Soprano and friends breaking into their school and messing around in the swimming pool. There, cheering them on in the background as girl at swimming pool number 2 was the future megastar. No one would blame you for missing this one, as the future Lady Gaga, credited here as Stephanie Germanata, was only 15 when she took to those bleachers. Hell, even those who decide to watch the show back might struggle to recognise her, thanks to how much she has changed since then. Gaga herself has even critiqued this early role, stating that she could see exactly what she did wrong in that scene, and claimed that she has grown as an actor since then. Well, she certainly did leap out of the background and into the spotlight, and even has a Best Actress Academy Award nomination under her belt, so there's no arguments here. Number 6. Leonardo DiCaprio in Roseanne. It's a little tough for the younger generation to imagine Leonardo DiCaprio as anything but the big, shouty leading man he is today. But everybody's got to start somewhere, and DiCaprio definitely found himself some very interesting roles way before he started chewing on Gilbert's grape. The future Oscar winner scored a hunk of minor, non-speaking parts when he was but a little seedling in the acting world, with one of the most notable being the classic 90s comedy hit Roseanne. Yes, you can spot the young Jack Dawson in the background of a scene from the episode Home Ec, playing one of Darlene's classmates. It's a well-known fact that the bona fide Hollywood star only takes top billing roles, with the exception to that rule being just about as rare as a bad Quentin Tarantino movie. Which is why it's all the more amusing to look back at this sitcom and see him playing a part that he didn't even get credit for. It might not have been the most glamorous of roles, but at least he was free from being torn apart by bears. Number 5. Mahershala Ali in CSI: Crime Scene Investigation. Mahershala Ali is one of the few actors to have won multiple Academy Awards, and he managed to do it all within 2 years. Talk about impressive. But like almost every other actor that came before him, he wasn't always a leading man, and this small part on that road is a big sign of that. When watching the CSI episode Lucky Strike, you'll be introduced to Tavian Toombs, a real piece of work who was in desperate need of protection, which he found in the character Toombs' security guard. Okay, that name isn't particularly impressive, but as you've probably guessed, the name behind that character most certainly is. That being Mahershala Ali. Suppose you ever find yourself binging a boatload of early CSI episodes. In that case, you'd likely feel pretty jarred at seeing this multiple-time Oscar winner playing the simple background role of a security guard. But naturally, he does a great job even without lines or camera focus. 20 years later, and Toombs' security guard is now a vampire slayer in the MCU. I wonder if he's still on the payroll. Number 4, Danny Peudy in Cougar Town. Calling Danny Peudy a huge star might be a bit of a stretch, but the hilarious actor does have a big following thanks to his performance as Abed in the cult sitcom Community. And he also made an appearance in the MCU, so who can argue against that? One of the funniest aspects of Abed's character was his obsession with the show Cougar Town. This reference paid off massively in Cougar Town's Something Good Coming Part 2. The episode featured a scene where Laurie and Travis were having a nice chat outside a Subway, and behind them was an extra who seemed oddly interested in their conversation. Naturally, it was Danny Peudy playing the role of Abed inside Cougar Town. Talk about meta. Watching this scene must have been massively confusing for those who aren't fans of the cult sitcom, but for those who loved the show, this was a hilarious in-joke. Still, it was made even better when Cougar Town's Busy Phillips and Dan Bird returned the favour by appearing in a crowd shot in the Community episode For a Few Paintballs More. Who knew the small screen was such a small world? Number 3, Lin Manuel Miranda in The Sopranos. Well, it would seem that if you're looking for a musical genius, all you've got to do is search the background of The Sopranos, because it seems to be dripping with them. Lady Gaga and Lin Manuel Miranda. It's a bona fide all-star cast back there. But unlike Gaga, Miranda actually did have a few lines, so good for him. The future creator of Hamilton can be spotted in the season 6 episode Remember When. His blink and you'll miss it cameo came as Tony and Paulie pulled up to a motel, only to find it replaced by a new hotel. There they accosted a familiar-looking bellman who gave them blank stares and a lack of information. Of course, this familiar face was that of Lin Manuel Miranda, scoring his first acting job on a major television show. Interestingly, Miranda had already written one of his most notable projects, his debut musical In the Heights, when he scored this minor role, so he certainly had his fingers in some pies back in 2007. The man was certainly on his way to stardom after he portrayed this nameless character, and he definitely did not throw away his shot. Number 2, Jennifer Lawrence in Monk. If playing an extra helps you fade into the background, then donning a mascot costume must turn your face into John Cena, because nobody will see it. Taking on the role of a sports mascot on TV must be heaps of fun, but you can never really tell who is underneath that mask. This anonymity makes for a hilarious plot twist for anyone deciding to rewatch the classic Tony Shalhoub-led sitcom Monk, as one of their extras would go on to do great things. In the episode Mr. Monk and the Big Game, the titular character became a basketball coach whilst trying to solve a murder. During one sequence, Monk found himself getting irritated by an overly enthusiastic mascot dressed up as a lion. The moment was pretty funny and the lion did a great job. However, after this came a brief moment where the mascot removed her head. And who happened to be underneath? Why, it was the future Oscar winner, Katniss Everdeen herself, Jennifer Lawrence. Of all the first roles you could get, playing a mascot extra is one hell of a way to start. Number 1, Ben Affleck in Curb Your Enthusiasm. Many sitcoms like to include celebrity cameos, and Curb Your Enthusiasm is no exception. In fact, the setting in the world of TV makes it essential. Thanks to this, the show has seen some truly epic guest spots, with highlights including Shaquille O'Neal, Wanda Sykes, and the previously mentioned Lin Manuel Miranda. But there's one that you probably missed. Whether you love him or hate him, there's no denying that Ben Affleck is a big Hollywood star. That's what makes this guest spot such a surprise, as he simply acts as an extra leaving an apartment store in the episode Officer Krupke. That's it. He's literally on the screen for a second as he bolts out of the store. The man did more work as a basketball player on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It is a hilarious moment for those who managed to catch it, and plays into the show's loving mockery of celebrity culture. The cameo came about because Ben Affleck was visiting the set and Larry David asked him if he'd like to be an extra in the episode. It does go to show that you can never go wrong by asking.